Grace Legacy Academy began before the code. It began with curriculum, frameworks, restoration systems, governance principles, product ideas, operational documents, and a clear vision for the learner experience. The first build was conceptual. I had to understand how the pieces related, what belonged together, what needed to remain separate, and what the platform had to protect before it could be useful. The architecture began in the source material. Next, I translated that ecosystem into requirements software could follow. What does the learner see? What can Grace access? What remains founder only? How is progress represented? Where does support stop? What information can move between systems? And what should remain local? ChatGPT helped turn those questions into structured language, diagrams, briefs, decision records, and implementation-ready requirements. It became my collaborative architecture and editorial layer. I used it to organize source material, challenge assumptions, compare approaches, preserve terminology, define boundaries, and keep continuity across an enormous number of moving pieces. It also helped me recognize when my simple idea was actually 14 systems in a trench coat. Once the requirements were clear enough to build, Codex worked closer to the technical environment. It inspected the repository, implemented features, repaired defects, revised files, produced documentation and assets, and tested whether the system behaved as intended. But implementation was never a one-way handoff. A technical finding could expose a conceptual problem. A feature could work alone, but fail inside the learner journey. A cleaner engineering solution could still conflict with a governance boundary. Architecture and implementation kept correcting each other. The platform grew through repeated review. I defined the need, clarified it with ChatGPT, approved the direction, sent the implementation to Codex, inspected the result, tested it, documented what changed, and then decided whether to approve, revise, delay, separate, or reject the feature. That repetition was not wasted motion. It was how the platform became coherent. AI accelerated the work. The review cycle kept the work accountable. OpenAI Build Week then forced the system to become visible, testable, and explainable under pressure. The Academy needed a usable demonstration. Grace Companion needed clearly bounded behavior. The architecture needed documentation. The repository and founder story needed evidence. And yes, there was also a 281-page optional dossier, because apparently I come with papers. Build Week did not create Grace Legacy. It forced every layer of the existing work to meet inside one accountable build. Grace Legacy Academy was built through lived expertise, structured documentation, systems thinking, AI-assisted reasoning, technical implementation, repeated testing, and final human judgment. ChatGPT helped make the architecture coherent. Codex helped make the implementation coherent. I remained responsible for the source material, boundaries, approvals, deployment decisions, and consequences. That is how I built Grace Legacy Academy with ChatGPT and Codex, not by surrendering the founder role, but by expanding what I could execute while protecting what only the founder could decide. In the next video, I will show exactly what OpenAI Build Week accelerated, and what was already moving before the clock started.